I'm Joe Padula.
I'm Amber Markey.
I'm Mark Riggins.
And this is the local news you need to know. Oh, where's my bell? Oh, absolutely. What's up, Amber?
Hello.
So you brought Mark in with you, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Why not?
Good.
Have a guest.
I like that. I like that a lot. Mark, good to have you, brother.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
You know, we got to go over some things. I was watching that city council meeting. What was that? November 29th. And yeah, man, you were up there for like an hour.
Yeah.
You poor man.
Kept coming back and forth, back and forth.
So yeah, we'll go over what this gas hike, rate hike and fees. Well, we're going to cover it all right? You know, a lot of people on social media, they get a little, what's it called? I don't know. They're not informed.
Upset.
They're upset because I think they're not informed. So I think we're going to provide them some good information today. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. The whole bit. All right. So yeah, here we go. Let's go to the article first from ClarksvilleNow.com. All right. See my emails pop up there for a minute there? I'm glad I had nothing exposed. That's good. That would have been bad on my part.
Are the comments coming through? I'm not.
Let's see.
Where's that side?
We might be down on the chats.
Ah.
We might be down. But hey, if you got any comments, go for it. Go for it. Let me do a test here.
Okay.
All right, we are actively live though, so that's good. All right, so this was in response to the $1 million deficit. The Clarksville Gas and Water Department is proposing raising, in many cases, doubling a number of customer rates, service fees, and charges. Is that accurate so far, Mark?
Somewhat. It could be confusing.
Yes.
Yes.
It is confusing.
Love to explain it further.
Well, yes, the Clarksville Gas and Water General Manager, Mark Riggins, told the City Council that volatile gas prices, inflation, and system maintenance have hit the natural gas division's budget hard. Do tell, Mark. Do tell.
So in the $1 million deficit, that is to date, I want to be very clear in this. Gas and water, we are not in financial distress, what the state would call financial distress currently. As you can imagine, a budget ebbs and flows, especially when it comes to natural gas, because you sell more gas in the wintertime.
That's right.
So you fall off in the warm months. You try to make it up in the winter months. The problem is when you have a unnaturally warm winter, and especially with the inflation we've had over the last couple of years, but especially this year in pipe prices, materials, things like that are well beyond our control and beyond what we budgeted for. So that deficit, while we do believe that we will make up the most of that, I do not believe at this time that we will come back to being flush or back to zero. And when it comes, as I said, with the inflation, there's no way to overcome that. But then when it comes to the rates doubling and things like that, the individual rate itself, some of those are going up. Some of the fees are actually, when it comes into residential inside, outside, commercial inside, outside, and then a few industrial rates. There's fixed rates, variable rates, things like that. Some of those are going up. Some of them are actually going down. But it's the total bill is what you have to look at.
Right.
Like when you look at inside rates, while the inside residential rates are going up more than outside residential bills will still be higher than inside residential rates, or their bills. What we look at, I just looked at it again this morning, on average residential customer's bill that lives inside the city limits. I think in the summertime their bill would go up probably $4 a month. In the fall and spring it'd be about $7 a month. And then beyond that, when it gets into wintertime, you really have to look at the square footage of a home. And we've kind of estimated 1,300 to 1,500 square foot home, probably about $10 a month in the dead of winter. When you get to a 3,000 square foot home and above, it's probably around $15 more a month. Then outside rates, probably less than that. I think in the summer it's like $3. Spring and fall, you probably get into $4.50 to $5, and then $7, and then $10. But when it's all said and done, their bill on average is still at least $4 a month higher than inside city rates.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It kind of does. I mean, you got to There's a lot to explain when it comes to gas and water. That's
It
for
is,
sure.
yes.
But you know, when it comes down to it, this $1 million deficit this fiscal year. Okay, you know, the Clarksville Now report went on. Well, let's go to the actual footage. Here's some of it. We're not going to play the entire hour.
Committee report, Chairperson Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance 39, 2023, 24, first reading. An ordinance amending Part 2 Code of Ordinances, Title 13, Utilities and Service, Chapter 3, Gas, Water, and Sewer Service, the City of Clarksville relative to gas rates, charges, and/or fees. The Finance Committee and the Gas and Water Committees voted in favor of approval. Mayor, if it's okay with you, would you mind calling up Mr. Riggins so he could go over this?
Be happy to. Mr. Riggins?
When you got called up, you're like, here we go. Oh, God. Did you think you were going to be up there for an hour?
I knew it'd be a while,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest, I don't mind. I'm the weirdo. I enjoy going in front of the council. I have a good relationship with the council members. I enjoy speaking with them.
They could have brought you a chair at least. You know what I mean?
But anytime it involves increasing money, you know you're going to be there for a little while.
Right, understood.
Yes.
You're
Good evening, Mayor.
recognized.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I want to apologize once again to the members of the Gas and Water and Finance Committees for having to rehash this all over again, this lengthy presentation. But as you've got here, I'll ask you, as you're turning to the proposed code revisions in red and strike through, if you don't mind, I think that would be the best place to.
One of your arch nemesis is checking in. Carrie Lovato
What did she say?
of City Council. She goes, no, the chairs will be provided.
To go through these. As discussed, while you're turning to that, as discussed in the Gas and Water and Finance Committee meetings, the combination of volatile gas prices, natural gas prices, inflation, and of course, as well as planned system maintenance, pipeline replacement and upgrades, they've resulted in overall negative financial impact for our natural gas department. Due to this impact, earlier this year, we secured the services of Jackson Thornton to perform a rate study, the final results of which you have in front of you now. I want to be clear from the beginning that the efficiency of this group, being the gas department, is not the issue at hand, as they operate with a very capable and productive workforce. I'm proud to say that our entire gas division has only increased by 2 employees in over 10 years.
Is she able to understand your dialect, the one who's doing the hand motions?
I hope so.
Okay, all right. I wouldn't be so bad at this job. I could not do this job.
And this is achieved by ending a third-party contract, well, multiple third-party
Producer
contracts,
Chris, what's
one
up?
being for service and main installations, another for leak surveying, which over time has saved our department millions throughout this same time. Despite these efforts and due to the first mentioned issues and projects this fiscal year, the gas division is operating at approximately $1 million deficit to date in the negative.
So Clarksville Gas and Water just can't raise its price. It has to get approval from City Council.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
there are some things we can change in our own policies, or the committee can, our gas and water committee, who's made up of council people as well. But anytime it comes to money, rates, fees, things like that, it's in the city code and has to go through City Council.
Producer Chris Early on YouTube says ASL does not add accents. LOL. Well, unless they're from Jersey, then it's, you know.
There you go.
And I'm not mocking here. I'm just saying. Right.
This is where we currently are, and we haven't even really begun to touch on the $20.7 million worth of capital projects planned over the next 5 years.
What does that include?
So that is the key, is the capital projects. As I stated later on in this meeting or the next, I get confused which one. Even the deficit, if that's all we had to deal with was just the day-to-day maintenance in this,
Right.
I may could hold on for 2 or 3 more years. Even though I'd be going down, I'd have enough cash to make up that difference. The problem is these capital projects. And what that is system maintenance. As you can imagine, we just celebrated in November our gas system's 70th birthday. Well,
You look great.
thank you.
Amazing.
Well, those pipes that are 70 years old, they're still operable. And so, and one of those is the oldest one is our main feed going from our gas originates at roughly exit 31 on 41A. That's where we buy our gas from Tennessee Gas Pipeline, and we bring it down 41A in two pipes. One is an 8-inch and one is a 12-inch. They're both steel, high pressure. They have about 350 PSI on them, bringing that gas all the way down the highway and into Clarksville. That 8-inch is 70 years old.
Okay.
So roughly the lifetime of a pipe, whenever you're in design and things like that, you say an average of 50 years. So we're already in the pipe's in, it's in good shape. We've maintained it well. But you have to get it, any department, especially utility department, you have to get into a pipe replacement program, and we're there. We need to start that.
Does it
now.
need to be bigger than 7 inches? Would it be better?
8-inch?
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. So, yes, that's another key thing. The other one is a 12. What we would propose and what we have in the plan is when we replace that 8-inch pipe, we'll go back with a 12-inch, most likely, another 12-inch pipe. Because as you can imagine, your cost as far as labor, digging the ditch, things like that, that's all the same whether it's an 8-inch or a 12-inch.
Right.
At that point, you're just paying for the cost difference between 8 and 12-inch pipe, which in a project of this side, I mean, it's money, but to us, it's well worth the money for the future because you can get so much more capacity.
Bigger
to a
pipe.
12-inch. Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Understood.
Yes, sir.
Chris Early, is there a way we can get a second reprieve on deposits if you miss one payment date within 5 years? Ooh, good question. Do you know the answer to that?
I mean, currently there's not.
Okay.
Currently there's not.
What if he bribes you?
No.
No, okay.
Cannot be
Sorry.
bribed.
No bribes.
But currently on deposits, our policy is 4 years of good payment history.
Mm-hmm.
We move that deposit over, refund it onto your bill, and then you'd have a credit there for that amount after 4 years.
And before we move forward, hey, I recently, signed up for auto pay through my bank account with the routing number. The best. Okay? It is the way to go. If you are able to do this, and believe me, I'm pretty sure you're able to do this, all right? You got a bank account, right? Yeah? Okay, good. Okay, you got a computer, right? Good. It's very simple. I never get any fees or late fees or anything like that ever again because I hear you. We forget. How many times have I been late on my payment just because I've been too busy? And I'm not like doing a commercial here. I'm just giving a testimony that it's worked out great for me. It really has because I'm a dummy.
Chris earlier added a pipe question.
Oh, okay, Chris Early. So what are you saying? Laying 8-inch pipe is better? I think he's being the size of the pipe. Size matters. Chris, you're right. Joe Quinters. What's going on, Joe? Yeah, Joe's on vacation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love me some Joe Quinters. Such a smart man. All right, let's fast forward to some of what City Council was saying to you. Oh, boy. It's a lot of... if I ever
thank you, Mr.
get
Riggins.
elected to City Council to represent Ward 6 downtown, I'm going to have I'm going to have more stickers than Karen Reynolds on her laptop. We're going to have a sticker battle.
Oh my God.
Yeah, mine are going to be better, too. All right, here we go. Karen Reynolds.
To you and actually to Councilperson Hellman for how we work in the committee. I appreciate the open conversation and being allowed to ask questions, and we don't always agree, but I'm grateful for the teamwork in the committee.
All right, that's a question, Karen.
So
Thank you.
I guess I will say it to you, but also to my fellow council members. We in our community are facing unhoused issues, people moving in and out of apartments because they can't afford it, and then they have to move into another apartment. And surprisingly enough, oftentimes people become unhoused over $500, $700. The car broke down. I had a sick child, I couldn't go to work. And then I just cannot get caught back up until I have...
By the way, she's been given, just to give you a heads up, okay? She's been given information and pamphlets not to use the word homeless anymore, okay? That's why you'll hear unhoused and stuff like that. Right. Don't worry. We'll talk about that in the afternoon show.
Maxed out my credit cards. I just can't get back on track. So these additional fees, I read a long time ago,
Jeopardy music.
if you want to measure the soul of a community, don't look at how many churches and how we pray or who.
Amber, does she eventually ask a question?
I think she was.
Or is it just a
I
statement?
don't remember if it was this section, but I think she was asking about the extra funds that Gas and Water had at one point, and I guess maybe that's a point of
Look, Mark
clarity.
walks off. He's like, Mark had it. Look, watch. He walks off. He's like, I'm out of here.
Oh, he did not.
I'm done. I'm done with all of you.
No.
Oh, no, you didn't walk off, Mark?
No,
Okay,
sir.
I'm sorry.
That covers all classes. And again, these spreadsheets are current, show the current rates.
All right, let's see. Oh, okay, here's Brian. Brian, what?
Important part of what you told us here today, and I don't want anybody in the public to misunderstand. It says here the Tennessee Board of Utility Regulation supports natural.
When I become mayor, I'm going to make sure that Deanna McLaughlin's never chewing gum while up there, okay?
Okay.
That's my first rule when I become mayor of Clarksville.
Sure.
No chewing gum and plenty of chairs for the guests.
Okay.
Gas, water, and wastewater public utility systems by ensuring they are financially self-supporting. They're not going to allow a utility service provider to run itself into insolvency.
That is correct.
Okay.
And as I said with the water rates, they will not, and I said in one of the committee meetings, they will not allow me or the city council to run the utility in the ground, just for lack of a better word. Not that you would, but just
What does that mean?
they won't allow us to go broke.
Okay.
Is basically it. They will. There was a time when the utility, that's why it's Clarksville Gas and Water, I would envision, of course I wasn't around back then, when the utility, basically the municipality insured to some degree the utility to where if we were to fail, then the city council could impose taxes in order to bail the utility out. With the state rules and regulations that they have now, and what we see is, if matter of fact, I believe it's stated in one of these meetings, 2 years of deficiencies, that's when this T-BOR group or the state comptroller's office would step in. They would do their own study, their own audit of our situation, and they could impose their own rates.
And we don't
beyond
want
what
that.
The city council. No,
We
you
want to
never
prevent
want.
it, right?
And let me be clear, we've got a great relationship with the state
Yeah.
as far as regulators, financial and maintenance-wise. It's great. I have nothing negative to say there. That's their job, to ensure that the customers are taken care of. And what I mean by that is to ensure I have the money to maintain the system. And explain that T-BOR, because I was speaking with another council person earlier this week. It does seem like through the videos that the state and us were adversaries. That is not the case. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Actually, you've got two different divisions when it comes to gas, especially. You've got two different groups you deal with. TPUC, who is
Sir, please watch your mouth. Thank you. Thank you.
Tennessee Pipeline. What was that right? Tennessee Public Utility Commission, and they make sure that I'm taking care of the system as far as maintenance-wise, things like that. They come in and do audits. They're about to come do their third audit for this year of us in construction.
That sounds fun.
Yes, it's
That
fun.
sounds fun.
But again, great relationship. They like what we're doing. And then we have T-BOR, which is the comptroller's office, make sure we're taking care of the financial end of it. So what happens is, as you can imagine, we know of utility districts who cannot get their governing body or their board to raise rates because it's political, right? So when they can't do that, they can't raise enough funds to maintain their system. It starts going down. Well, that's when the state will step in, and it's actually on behalf of the department and the customers, where they will, what TPUC has done before, they will impose fines, and they'll say, okay, because you didn't do this here, we're going to impose a fine of $500,000, $500,000. But we don't want your money. We want you to use that. If you use $500,000 in your system, then that'll be okay. So what that does is it forces me then to go back to the governing body or someone in that situation. They have to give me the money. At that point, the state's not asking. So in that case, as you see, the state is helping the utility get the funds they need in another way to maintain the system.
Understood. Okay. Let's see.
I guess, could we go back, to Karen? Because I think there's a lot of confusion, and I think Clarksville Now also put it in their article about those funds that she was talking about.
Okay.
And I think people with the comments, again, there's confusion. So they think that, gas and water is just sitting there on like this pile of gold kind of thing. And they're questioning, well, if you have this money, then why bring up, the fees and
Why increase
and
fees and
increase the funds and all that. So I guess, what does that money do for you.
Yes, it helps with my monthly bills. It's just like money in a checking account. You have to have money in there to fund your bills throughout the month, and that's one of a large misunderstanding when it comes to government fund balance, but especially utilities as well. I know the comptroller's office, there's state laws for how much a municipality has in the fund balance. You can't fall below this mark. Well, ours, we go a step further with our bond agencies, our rating agencies. They tell us you need to have 250 days worth of your budget in your account.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason for that money. So 250 days worth, and I can tell you that's going to equate to over $20 million for us in gas.
That you have to
that you have
keep
to-
in it.
Yes,
Okay.
that I keep in that fund. As you can, one great example is the water in our water industry right now, our water division. And you'll see on the committee every month we go through the finances, and it dips. One month we're down millions, the next month we're back up. Well, it's because we're building this water plant. So you can imagine as they're building that plant, that contractor, we're paying millions of dollars worth of bills a month that draws that cash down. Then I take it back out of the bond issuance that I have to replenish that fund, and it goes back up. But you have to have that money there to be able to pay out and bring back in, pay out and bring back in. But you cannot drop below a certain point. We've got bond covenants there. One is this bonding agencies, or the bond rating that we have. We are very successful in the bond market. The closing call that I was talking about earlier before we started, we just went to market with $40 million worth of bonds, to which we got a $5 million premium at 3.5%. Who's getting 3.5% on borrowed
Good
money
for you.
right now?
Wow.
Right, and it's because and I'm not saying me, my CFO and my
Right.
accounting division, they are fantastic with how they deal with our money. That's why we are so successful. The bond, they love to see us borrow money. Now, we don't necessarily like it, but there are situations where you don't want to pay for everything with cash. For instance, the water plant, this 12-inch line that I was talking, this gas line in the
right.
future. If you would imagine if you're building something that's going to last 50 years, and this is my way of thinking, I believe it's most of our industry's way of thinking. If I'm going to build something that's going to last 50 years, why would I make all of you who are paying for gas right now pay for that whole thing?
Understood.
Why not spread those payments out and let the people who are going to use this for the next 30 to 40 years pay that off?
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
I
And
get
it
it.
keeps the rates low.
I get it.
Keeps the rates low.
What's up, Becky K? Good morning to you. Chris Early, on that contract, is there a late fee attached if they don't finish the time slated? And also, he says, thank you for joining us today. We do appreciate you in the hot seat.
To drive home, the rate increase that you are requesting here today is
Deanna should be twirling her hair, too, while she's chewing the gum. I can't wait to see her. I saw her this weekend. I did a Christmas party for them.
Okay.
Yeah, I should be placing my order with her at the diner. That's what I should be doing right now.
Okay.
I love Deanna.
less than the rate increase that was recommended by the consultants.
Much less. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Councilperson Reynolds, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood. I don't oppose, I understand the economics of it, but I figured out, I put our current rates and then what we're going to, and then the percent change. And the burden of the percent change for city residents, we're going to 81.8% increase in our.
Why
Yeah,
does
that was
she-
also a point of confusion
Yeah.
amongst the people as well.
She's talking about on the rate itself, the per unit of gas fee.
Uh-huh.
Again, it did go up percentage-wise more than outside city. Well, the reason being, outside city rates are more than inside city rates. And as I said, when we started down this path 2.5 years ago, when we increased water rates, our current, this is my opinion and my department's opinion, our current setup for rates, you have an inside city limits rate and an outside city limits rate. Well, in order to have that, and the state says this, they're not opposed to separate rates. What they say, though, is you have to be able to justify that separation, that difference in rates. And my point is, I can no longer justify that separation. And because, if you just think about this, my water plant's located on the bypass. But just past, if you're heading toward Madison Street from Riverside Drive, just past Edmondson Ferry Road on the right on the bank of the river. And if you follow my pipeline, I just checked this yesterday to be absolutely sure, or to have the numbers. If you follow that pipeline to, let's say, I have a water tank on XL Road, and then I have a water tank on High Point Road. Just past XL Road is the city limit county line. I have customers out there. Of course, I have customers on High Point Road because it's inside the city limits. That tank at High Point Road is 2 miles farther away from my water plant than that tank on XL Road, which means I can serve those customers who live outside the city limits on XL Road cheaper than I can the customers on the north side that live inside the city limits.
Because of the distance.
Because of the distance. So my whole point to that is, if you want to have a tiered rate structure, and I had a council person say this to me just this week. They said, well, Mark, if I live right beside the water plant and somebody lives 20 miles away, I think they should pay more. And I'm not arguing that point. I'm not arguing that point. What I'm arguing is that line shouldn't be the city limits line. If you're going to do that and have a tiered rate structure, you just basically draw a bullseye around your water plant. The first ring closest pays the least. The next ring pays a little more. The next ring pays a little more. But the same residents who are arguing against that want the city to pay less, they're not going to like that either, because those on the north side of town, you can imagine Tiny Town Road.
Right.
If XL Road is 2 miles shorter than High Point, imagine what Tiny Town Road is.
And does that affect with the water pressure and everything like that too?
Yes, because I have to have boosters in between there so the water will leave the plant. It'll pump it up so far, then it hits a booster station, increases the pressure, and keeps on pushing it up.
So those people in the outside ring in your example would
they would pay the most. So
Wow.
and that's not going to be wanted either. So my argument is, if you're not going to go the bullseye route, the only other option, realistically, and I believe in my mind, the right thing to do is to have one rate for everybody. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
And then if you take that a bit further into gas, as you heard me say, my gas originates at exit 31. Using that same comment about the 20 miles, there's not a person in Clarksville city limits that has gas that's within 20 miles of where that gas originates. So if I did it there, people in Cheatham County would be the first ring, then Robertson County, because I have customers in both of them. Another section of Cheatham County, a section of Montgomery County. That's all before it ever got to the city limits, period.
Right.
So again, I think the fairest thing to do without doing that, which is not going to be acceptable, and I realize that, is to have one rate for everybody.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does she have a map of Michigan?
No, I don't know what it is.
What is that? Why do we have Michigan? Okay, never mind.
Did
In our
Say it again.
Well, I'm just looking at some of the questions. Did the tornadoes or the tornado will that affect any prices, or that has nothing to do with any of the prices right now?
The tornado?
Yeah,
No,
like
ma'am.
any
Becky
infrastructure.
Becky K goes, here we go. A warning to all. Your rates will go up, and up
tornadoes.
from the tornadoes.
That's not true.
That's not accurate.
No, that's not accurate. We had no significant damage system-wise from the tornado, no water tanks, anything like that. What we had was some power outages. I think we had one booster station. We had a generator there. We had someone man that, fill it up with diesel. We had initially about 40 sewer lift stations that were without power. Within 2 days, it was down to 26. And then every day I called for an update after that, it was cut in half. CDE did a phenomenal job getting us back in service. But there's nothing, quote unquote, lost there as far as system-wise. As far as the gas system, it was only individual services to businesses or houses, which we went out and shut off. Those businesses or houses that will have to be demolished, we'll have to go back and dig that pipe up, abandon it, let them rebuild, and then come back and reinstate it. But we're in talks about that now. I don't think we're going to charge the customer to do that.
Right.
I think we're just gonna do it. In the grand scheme, the effect to the system, it's not going to be major to us. And I will say, one of the things since we're talking about bills, one of the things that we're going to propose, we'll have an ordinance that our committee chairman is going to propose to the council at the next meeting. We're actually looking at some type, we've never done this that I know of in the history of gas and water, some type of bill forgiveness for any water leakage during this tornado. So as you can imagine, if a house is damaged and it breaks the water pipe inside the house, that water's just running and possibly running for days.
Right.
Well, it's behind the meter, so that bill's going up and up and up. what we're proposing, once we've looked at it, what we're proposing is to do an average for these folks who were affected from the last time it was read until it was turned off. So what their normal bill would be on a daily average, they would be billed up to that. All those thousands of gallons of water, and in some cases we've seen thousands of gallons run. Those thousands of gallons beyond that, we want to forgive that.
Okay.
Because to us, overall, it's not much, but to these individuals, it's a lot.
And they had no control.
No control whatsoever. We realize that, and we're going to ask the council to let us forgive that. Well, some of the other things that we're doing that the code allows us to do with approval from the mayor, anyone who's displaced from their home, that let's say they need to transfer their service over to an apartment, we waive those transfer fees there and back, things like that, late fees, cutoffs. We're taking care of all that through this time. Anyone affected by the tornado.
Becky, I like your question. I do. Becky goes, "Oh, please. Who's going to pay for all those damages? Insurance companies cannot alone handle the cost." Chris Early.
I don't think he just said there wasn't any infrastructure damage, so.
Right. On this in this episode.
Yeah, in this episode, yeah.
Right. Chris Early, would FEMA be able to cover that cost? Interesting.
I think that's a question for FEMA.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
or
I can tell you,
TEMA.
the city is working with FEMA right
they're
now.
in
They
town.
are. Anytime there's a disaster of any magnitude, we are asked every dollar that we spend in payroll work. We have a separate job number just for that. For when the time comes, we could submit that. And FEMA, we just had a meeting yesterday. I believe they're going to send a representative here to help walk us through to ensure we get all of our paperwork right. I mean, the entire city to get this right, where we can get the most advantage from that.
And just so that we didn't miss that one question, he said, Chris Early, who's slated to build the water facility? Is there a fine attached for not meeting a time deadline? I guess, did you contract it, and do they get a fine if they don't finish that facility in time?
Yes, so it is contracted out. We had one bidder, and it's
Okay.
Judy Construction. They're a very reputable company.
Oh, Judy.
Yeah.
She and I, we go way back. Nice lady.
Sure.
Gotcha. They do a fantastic job. As you can imagine, there's not a lot of contractors who can build a water plant. You know, it's a very large problem. Matter of fact, it's about $200 to $210 million project. And in those, yes, most of our projects have what we call either liquidated damages or special damages. Most of ours are what we call special damages. So any money that we have to spend, if they go over a deadline, it causes us to spend more money. As you can imagine, with a water plant, we have third-party inspectors. We don't build a water plant every day, so we don't know everything it takes to inspect a water plant being built. But we have engineering firms who do. We hire them to do the inspection. So if this contractor goes over on their contract, I have to pay that inspector longer. It costs me money. I bill that back to the contract and just take that off of the bills I pay the contractor.
And if they finish early?
Currently, we don't have any kind of reward
Incentive,
or
right,
anything
okay.
for finishing early. In today's timeline, even still after COVID, just meeting deadlines, trying to get materials. You can imagine specialized pumps, things like that. They're hard to get a hold of. Lead times of half a year on some of this stuff. I don't see a whole lot of projects finishing early. They may finish close to right on time, maybe a little over. And we always sit down with a contractor. It's a back and forth. It's not like we just hammer them. If they have some reasonable issues, or if it's something that I caused, it may be, as you can imagine, a water plant, we want it a certain way, built how we want it, with materials that we want and machinery that we want to maintain and equipment. So if I tell them, you have to use this brand, well, if that brand takes longer to get here, I'm not going to hold that against that contractor. I made them use that. That's something we may work with them on.
Right. The Justin Nichols asks, will the new water plant fix the horrible river smell? What can you say and talk about with the smell?
That's a whole separate issue.
It's separate. The smell is sewer. The
Sewer.
water plant is water.
Okay.
The smell is the sewer plant. The sewer plant's located behind Vulcan Materials at the base of Boot Hill, down there, and it's sewage. I mean, I don't know.
I looked at a house over there when I was looking to buy.
Right.
Wasn't for me. Wasn't for me.
We do have projects in the future to try to help maintain that smell, scrubbers, things like that. As you can imagine, any project at a plant, it starts at about $5 million.
Yeah.
And
And like you said, that's a sewage department. That
Yes,
is,
it's
right.
the sewage department. Yes,
All right.
sir.
Amber, we got to get the sewage in here. All right.
Okay.
Okay, can you make that happen? Thank you, Amber.
Sure.
All right. Well, let's go to the reactions and comments on Facebook, if you don't mind. All right, to the proposed rates and fees increase. All right, let's go to the Facebook. Well, here's the reactions from the Clarksville Now article. Let's see. Francine. That's a great name. You don't see names like Francine anymore. Is all the unprecedented growth that is being pushed on our community part of the problem? Would be interesting to have an independent audit showing accounts receivable and payable along with suggestions on potential changes within the department. To reduce rate hikes before changes are implemented. Any
I'm probably the most audited department in the city. If I
Okay.
had to guess, we in the council, some of the information I'll probably send to y'all just today is our most recent 2023 audit.
Okay.
So we have those in any rate study. It's an audit. They check all my ingoing, outgoing, potential growth. In my response about the growth part, as all the council members know, any growth, any subdivision that's built, any industry, anything like that, any water, gas, water, or sewer, which we have all three, that any of that infrastructure that has to be built to support that industry or that subdivision or that business, they have to pay for all that. They pay and put that in, or they pay me to put it in. In gas, a lot of those we'll put it in ourselves, but we do an estimate. We send the developer a bill. They write us a check, we do the work, and then we settle up on what the actual cost is in the end. So the growth does not really affect that. As I stated on the council floor at least once, if growth stopped today, we would still be doing these capital projects. That 8-inch. There's some other pipes that we have to do. I think over the next 5 years, including this year, it was about $20.7 million. Over the next 10, we're looking at over $100 million worth of projects.
It's a lot.
And it's replacing existing pipes, which
Right.
I'm serving my existing community with right now.
Right.
Yes.
Bill Summers. Wow, Bill Summers. I haven't seen Bill in a while. Bill Summers, right? Former council member, right?
Yes.
One item that I disagreed with in these increases, along with water, sewer increases put into effect, are doing away with the higher charge for those that live outside the city limits. I can understand that if you look at the users only as rate payers, then equal cost may make sense. However, gas and water was established to serve Clarksville. If you have to run an extra infrastructure beyond the city limits and maintain it, then there should be an additional surcharge to those county users, which is permitted by state law. Anything on that one?
That's what I explained earlier about the bullseye
Yeah,
effect
right.
there. And if you go back to that sentence, I can understand that if you look at the users only as ratepayers, that's all they are to me.
Right.
I mean, my customers are ratepayers and that alone. They're not taxpayers to me.
That's right.
I receive no tax dollars. I'm strictly rate funded and fee funded. So that's the only way, by law, that's the only way I can look at them. That city limits line to me is arbitrary, and I can explain that. The council just voted on some annexation. And I'll remind some of the people who are arguing against the different rates now, or they want the separate rates. Before they were annexed, they were paying double rates. So if you take an annexation, you've got let's say it's on the middle of a road right now. You've got a house on one side of the street that pays one price. You've got a house on the other side of the street outside the city limits that pays double. They ask for an annexation. The city council chooses to move that line, let's say over 2 streets. Now that person who was paying double yesterday, today is paying the same price. Nothing changed on my end.
Right.
It cost me the same amount of money to serve that person today as it did yesterday. That proves that line's arbitrary.
And
it really makes no difference.
an argument for your one rate. Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
It's either the bullseye effect, which I promise people are not going to want. They're not going to want that, or one rate, and we're arguing one rate.
Yeah.
Let's go. Sorry, Amber.
Well, going to the questions. For older subdivisions, how can they get natural gas run to their homes? How does that work?
So currently, we don't have a viable way. We're in talks with our my gas manager about that now. So we've taken the stance in order to avoid these costs we're talking about. Any subdivision that has gas currently, that means that developer paid to put it in, and those people who bought the homes there, they paid for that in the price of their home. Going in after the fact, you can imagine it cost me three or four times as much to go in after the fact.
Yeah.
The way the code reads right now, to go in after that, the way I would have to bill for that, I lose a lot of money.
Okay.
And it would take many years to make that back up. So now we've taken the stance over the last probably 6-7 years. If the developer didn't put it in, we don't go back and put it in. What we're going to look at doing, though, is having, possibly, is what we're talking about, having a list of contractors who are pre-qualified.
Okay.
There's a lot of testing and training involved with being able to work on natural gas pipelines. I did it for 10 years when I was in the gas department the first time. And there's, like for a construction worker right off the street, I bet there's 30 tests. There's 30 modules of training and tests you have to take to be able to work on gas. And so what I want to do is find some local contractors who we can help get them trained as well. That way we may not do it, but the homeowner and the individuals, they can actually partner with that contractor and pay them to do it in lieu of us. Like I said, it gives them an option. There's a possibility where today there's not.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Councilperson Reynolds reported in her newsletter that Clarksville residents will see an 88% increase in usage fees as compared to 13.6 for residents outside the city and 6.9 for commercial and industry inside the city.
It's that confusion going
Right.
back to the bullseye situation.
Right. Well, on that right there, you're exactly right. It's the difference in fees, and that's why I reminded them. I said the same thing 2.5 years ago when we talked about water. We put out those differences in percentage, and I said to the council, you need to ignore those percentage differences. You need to look at the actual bills. That's why we gave a spreadsheet that shows if you on residential customers in the summertime they use this much gas. This is what their bill is today. Here's what it is next year. Over the next 4 years, here's what it ultimately will be. Spring and fall, and then the wintertime. If you hone in on that, it's a unit of gas, and that doesn't mean anything to regular customers. If you look at the bill itself, you're not looking at an 88% increase. Nobody's bill is doubling.
Me personally, this is just a lazy statement. That's not looking into it. That's just hearing someone say something and going with it. I'm sorry. I'm not going for this 88% increase nonsense. Lydia Hairston, that's crazy. My bill is already high.
I think it's based on her understanding of the 88%.
Right.
'Cause
Lydia.
it does sound really bad. Like if you pay
it
certain
sounds
amount
terrible.
and 88% of that, so you're more than doubling. So like if you pay $40, now you're going to be paying like close to $90 if you increase.
See, and that's why we got to, because people like Lydia, I'm sure is great people, but now she's like concerned that this is going to double her bill. It's not. It is not. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's why we put out the spreadsheet, and that's why we give it to the council to give to their constituents so they see. We did that for the first time that I remember when we increased the water rates. I wanted customers to know, hey, if your bill is this today, this is what it'll be at the end of these increases. We want them to know that, because when they see, oh, it's not double, it's $4.
Right.
It's $5, it's $10 a month in the coldest part of the winter. That's a big difference than double.
Double.
Yes.
Right. Jason DeVito. Sounds like the guys need to work harder over there then. See, and that's Karen Reynolds. Boy, look what you. And here's a.
I think there's a lot of confusion in the percentage and
absolutely. Brian Zacharias. Hey, look, it's Brian Zacharias, Ward 1, Clarksville City
Yeah,
Council.
he tried to explain it.
Bill Summers, the total rate is made up of several. Let's discuss this one, right? Not 50%, and definitely not 88. Not 100%.
Yeah,
It works out roughly to 7% per year for a total of 30%. It's also worth mentioning that even after these rate increases over the next 4 years, our rates are still below the current average rate in Tennessee. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right. Well, Oh, Brian was on a tear, huh?
Yeah,
Look at him go.
He talks to people.
Look at that. It's a Facebook fight. What else we got? We have reaction to comments on Clarksville chat.
Yeah.
Again.
I think that was the one you were just doing.
Yeah, they just... Well, someone posted the letter that went out. This one? Or the notice of the changes to utility bills?
They're confusing that letter with... we're talking about gas mainly in the city council session. They're confusing that letter. That letter was for water.
That was for water.
Yeah, there's two different departments.
Good.
I believe the letter, was this for the credit card fees?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a separate, that's not the rates and bills. That's just recovering our costs for anyone who uses a credit or debit card.
Yeah. Again, sign up for auto pay and get it to your routing number at your bank account. Okay?
No extra fee for that.
There is no fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're talking about when this was put out
Yeah,
there.
and then the credit card situation is because that's what the vendor charges for the usage of processing it. Gas and water is not pocketing extra money.
Right,
it's just
right. It's us recovering the $800 to $900 worth of fees that we're currently eating right now.
Yeah.
Again, greedy ASF.
Yeah.
And again, my friends, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm stupid. All right. It's being misinformed and just reading a headline and not reading the actual article. So, Delaney, I see the gouging continues. It's not gouging. My friends, I want you to be informed. I don't want you to sound dumb.
It's something every company does.
City Council member
credit
Amber
card
Marquis, please read this sentence right here that's highlighted.
It's funny.
Oh, that's it? Okay. How doing this with card was originally supposed to be cheaper alternative. What does that mean, Joseph Ray?
I think he's referencing when credit cards were first came out and, like years and years ago. I think that's what that...
No, when you use a credit card, you're pretty much borrowing money.
Yeah.
And there's going to be an interest rate for borrowing. And the fact that, now if somebody uses a credit card for paying their bills, the utility company has to now pay that fee for the Amex or whatever because there's a surcharge.
Correct.
That they bill you guys.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the people just want you to eat the bill. No, I don't think that's right.
And that's the position that we're taking. It's not fair to those who have auto pay. It's not fair to those who pay cash or pay with a check, or it's trying to make everybody pay their fair share. That's what we're trying to do. Basically,
if you're broke, Clarksville Gas and Water is about to make you even more broke. Happy holidays, everyone. That Jason Crow. That's not accurate.
Also, the thing with gas and water, like CD, it's a utility based on your usage. So obviously, you can kind of control how much you use. Don't take 3-hour-long showers. That kind of thing to keep your water down a little.
PJ looks like he called it here. He goes, they have literally been talking about this for months. It's not new information.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you can also soon be expecting a hike in your rates and services. They are running at a $1 million deficit and only recouping about 90%. So they plan on increasing to make up the difference to get it up to 97. That sounds accurate.
That's accurate.
Yes.
Yes.
Good job, PJ. Knowing your stuff. Becky in the comments. Then a developer goes to the city and requests for a recovery for his company. Then if past year taxes go up on that particular subdivision area, this happens everywhere.
I mean, maybe in other places in the country, but as far as I know, Clarksville doesn't bail out the developers like that or at all. I don't. I've not heard that happening here.
There's currently no avenue for that I'm aware of.
Right.
At all.
Justin Nichols, or just use your checking account instead of a debit card.
That works too.
Right. And no charge to use your auto pay. Yeah, that's true. Van Canuto, did you say Clarksville chat? Clarksville chat is for beggars and idiots who don't know how to use Google to find that info. It's true. Good morning, Lori Mason. Lori Mason's.
Hi, Lori.
I love Lori. I was partying with her this weekend. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Lori, way too many drugs. I can't do it again. I'm sorry. It's not true.
Yeah.
John Doe, I never do auto pay anymore because my car insurance company double charged my monthly payment and had a lot of overdraft fees to cover my other bills. Yo, John, I hear you. Auto insurance is getting ridiculous. Right. Where they're increasing rates and move. But I hear you. Now with auto pay, you still got to look at your bank account to make sure you're not being like what the insurance companies are doing with with auto.
Or like Justin Nichols, don't do auto pay, just do your checking account. Every month, just put it in and that's it.
I can't. I'm too lazy for that.
Okay.
I can't. I'm being honest here.
Okay.
Let's see what else we have lined up. Let's go to the slides. No, we
next
got
slide.
that. We got that. Anything else in the video?
No, not really.
Yeah.
It was just kind of back and forth on
I think we covered it all.
trying to figure out what was being said.
The service fees was another huge point of contention
Yeah.
that we've not talked about. And what that is the physical going out and turning on of utilities.
Oh, yeah.
Currently, it's $50. This is for water and sewer. It's
Yeah.
$50 during business hours, $100 after hours. We've not raised those in nearly 15 years. I think I found the ordinance the other day. I think it was actually in 2010. And the
Almost
reason,
14 years ago.
right, and the reason for that is it cost me almost double that to send someone out to turn your water on.
To send a
turn your
worker
gas on.
out there to physically. It's not like you have a switch in the office.
No, we
No,
do
CDE
not have
does.
that.
CDE
Yes,
does,
yes.
Yeah,
right.
They do.
But not Clarksville Gas and Water.
No, we do not
Okay.
have that. We have to send someone out to physically turn that water meter on, physically turn that gas meter on.
Uh-huh.
And it's simply to recover our costs. And remember, this is not something we come up with. This was part of the overall rate study. They actually proposed a little bit more. And when I did the math on our own workers to try to figure out what it would cost us, I thought it was a little too high, so we brought it down to $100. And then after hours, because you can imagine the cost of a service person to send them out there, cost of vehicle, everything it takes me to get them there and back. And then, but on the after hours, the reason it's double is for two reasons. One, it's a deterrent to have people do it during business hours. Two, I have to pay somebody overtime. Now this person's sitting at home on call, and if someone calls in, they have to leave their house from wherever they live, come in, report to that, and then go back home. I pay them standby, I pay them time and a half to do that. But also, we called around to multiple organizations in the city. We talked to Fort Campbell, said, hey, I don't know, I've never been in the military. Is there any type of operation or situation to where you move soldiers in at the middle of the night without notice and they need to turn on their utilities, on a whim? And they said no. There's enough notice that it can be done during business days or scheduled. And so we have not found a valid reason to have the same price after hours. But that's the reason. Then also on gas, there's even a second layer of that when it comes to turning off and on. When those meter fees, as you'll remember, those are fixed cost, and those are spread over service all year long. Water's easy. Everybody wants their water on all the time. Some customers with gas, they want to turn that gas off in the summertime because right now it's cheaper. Well, the way my rates are figured is to get that minimum amount, that minimum bill every single month, that $12.05 that it is now. That's how I am able to budget, is for that. Well, if I have several, 1,000 customers or more that turn their gas off in the summertime, now I'm losing all that revenue.
Right.
And it's costing others more. And here's the thing about it. It costs me a certain amount of money to get gas to your house, whether you use it or not, to be able to use it. That's covering that. Those customers that turn it off in the summertime, they're getting that benefit if they do want to, but they're not paying for it. So this was a deterrent as well. This was equal to where it's just a little cheaper for them to keep that gas on in the summertime so I can recoup that revenue as well. And if they want to turn it off, I'm getting my money in another place.
I was delinquent before. It happened. Again, I wasn't involved in the auto pay, and it just boom. And so the guy, there was someone about to turn off my water, but I got smart. I bought a tub of Vaseline, okay? And I just dipped the entire thing in Vaseline, and he couldn't turn anything. It was actually brilliant. It was brilliant. Never happened.
No.
Never happened.
I don't think there's anything
One to discuss what the impact
more
will
to
be.
the video. It's
If
just
you'll put a
back
date
and
on
forth.
that spreadsheet.
Yeah. Let's see. Remember when Stacy had the sunglasses on her head the whole time? That was great. Oh, Karen. All right. Yep. There you go. Oh, she's on her phone. Look, she looks so sassy right there. Doesn't she look sassy? Stacy, why are you so sassy in that picture? Oh, I got to screenshot that and send it to her.
Oh my God.
Gotcha, Stacy. All right. Well,
We've agreed for the water.
there's that. So, I think we covered pretty much everything that we needed to cover, right? On this?
It's pretty extensive. You could probably keep talking, honestly.
I
yeah.
could certainly keep talking. I don't know if you'd want to keep listening.
Well, at least unlike City Council, we have chairs for you here.
Yeah.
Justin Nichols, ask Mark if he was able to understand the mask wonders questions through her mask. Oh, Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wanda has.
All right.
It's a diaper. She wears this huge diaper on her face. It's unbelievable. Hey, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Do so now. All right. Keep the comments coming. Great questions, and yeah, I'm learning a lot here. And that's like I said, I noticed so many people on social media so emotional because I don't think they actually looked into it. Mm-hmm. So, Mark, I appreciate you coming in here today and doing that. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, too easy. Hey, govstitle.com. They'll close that deal. All right. Houses, stuff like that, whatever. All right. Even wills. Yeah, go check it out. govstitle.com. Yeah, good people over there. What else do I have here before we get on going? Because it's Tuesday snack day, right?
Yes, it's snack day.
Yeah, it's snack day. She loves the snacks downstairs on Tuesdays. Yeah, Clarksville residents stepped up a lot this past week to help out. We all know, from the tornadoes.
Yeah.
APAC and.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. There's still a lot of help. I know the shelter at Northeast closed. They moved, to a different location, just because the school needed the school.
Oh, Northeast, yeah.
Yeah. They needed their school back.
Becky K, thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Justin Nichols, great job, Mark. Thanks for answering our questions. Even the brewery stepped up last week.
Oh, oh yeah.
And all the different options you have to choose from.
Even though we
I don't want to be rude, but part of me hopes that someone falls off of one of these chairs. That's all. I don't want to be. I hope nobody gets hurt, but I just think it would be funny.
have different preferences and tastes, we go there really for one common reason.
News Channel 5's Austin Pollock joins us now in studio. And Austin, you recently went to
Amber, does she have a ring on that finger?
I don't know.
Okay.
one brewery. I don't
moving
say
her-
that word. Wrong.
It's like a tongue.
Well, never mind. Dogs and cats displaced by
Yeah. For
tornadoes.
Clarksville families who have
A lot
lost
of-
everything. Northeast High School has become a beacon
Yeah, it's
of hope,
families who
a
have
place where
pets who are
victims
trying to
feel
find
safe and
shelter
secure as
that
they
will
try
take
to
them
move
with their
forward.
pets, and then
Yeah.
other
Today,
people who
we
just
learned the
found
school
pets
will operate as a
anywhere.
disaster relief
So
center
where did
for
instead of Northeast, where are they going now?
There were a couple of different locations that opened up. That
I know a lot of churches bought hotel rooms.
they did. The
for
city,
people.
if you contact the city's Clark's community and CNSC or acronyms, they have vouchers for hotels for people who need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do people?
You call them and they'll be able to.
Now, if your house is
do
fine
that.
and the lights are on and everything and the roof, don't take. Do you have to prove that there's that you're out of your house?
I'm not sure what they require for them to actually give it to you. The Northeast, it moved to Park Lane Church of the Nazarene at 225 Cunningham Lane.
Okay, thank you, Amber. That's a
Yes.
good one.
That's where it moved. And then FEMA should still be out by Veterans Plaza, I believe. They were yesterday.
Okay.
I imagine that's where they're stationed today.
Now there's also doing some toy drives too for the kids
Okay.
because a lot of the
Yeah,
toys were bought already.
That church right on the 101st on Trenton, they were doing a toy drive last night. I don't know if they will today or if they'll keep going.
There's
but
no words
there's
for
a lot
One
of
Church.
houses.
OneChurch.tv.
Going through.
I can't remember their name. They
When
right off
you are
Trenton and the
waking up
101st
one
on
day
that corner.
Oh,
of
yeah,
Publix.
yeah.
This time
Yeah.
of year,
The place with the terrible traffic. Yes.
and then waking up to
Yeah.
the next
Hey,
day.
it's
and realizing
Shawnee.
Yeah,
it's all
Shawnee.
gone.
Of course, Shawnee threw her face in front of a camera. She's such a camera hog. You know what? She was probably like, just driving along. She saw a camera. She's like, oh, I'm an expert. I'm a subject matter expert. I love Shawnee. She's great. Yeah, but all these people just stepping up to help out.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive, Clarksville.
I actually had somebody call me on Sunday night, like the day after the tornado, from, I believe it was Ohio. Just looked us up off of the website, saw my face, and called my phone number, asking where he can come volunteer. He drove 5 hours down.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, to help out. Stood here for like 2 days, and then went home. Yeah.
Hey, waterdogs.scuba.com. I know it's cold out there right now, but they do indoor certification as well, too. And these guys stepped up. They went out and removed a bunch of debris so that emergency vehicles can go through. Yeah, veteran-owned. I mean, they know what's up. Waterdogs.scuba.com. Plus, I found out. So there's a wetsuit and a dry suit. I'm learning about all this scuba diving stuff. And in a dry suit, and I'm sure you get a bunch of like fart jokes and everything with gas and water, right? Oh, I bet people call up, and you're like, listen, I'm very busy. Enough with the fart jokes. But the guy was telling me in the dry suit, because it holds everything in, if you pass gas in the suit,
Oh my God.
then when you take it off, that's when you smell it. It's unbelievable. Right. I just thought you should know that.
I don't know how long that lasts. But
Right.
All right.
What else we have? Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. Yeah, the Clarksville renters given 24 hours to collect belongings before discarding. Did you hear about this one, Amber?
I did. I know the city put out that any person, either apartment complex, home, whoever's trying to do a get a demolish, they need a demolishing permit. That's what it is. So even though their building is pretty much in ruins, they still need to take out a permit. Because, and I'm sure Mark can explain that a little bit, you need gas, water go out, you need electric to go out, make sure utilities are shut off, things are safe before,
Mark,
hazardous stuff goes.
What do you got?
That's absolute truth. She explained it very well. One of the first things in the process when you go through building codes to demolish something, they send us to abandon these services. So if we have a gas service there, you don't want a dozer over there just knocking things down and turning over, disconnecting the gas service. We go out and physically dig that up and separate that, so what they remove, it's not damaging any utilities, it's not pulling it away from the main, anything like that, causing further damage. Same thing with water, same thing with sewer. We separate those pipes from the business or the residents, and then after they rebuild, we can simply reconnect those back.
Yeah.
I bet it's not cheap.
So that's the reason why you need a permit. Some people thought that, the city's just trying to get more money out of residents. It's like, it's a safety issue for them and everybody around that area.
Right.
Van Canuto, the VFW District 18 from Texas, donated money to the victims of VFW post 11160. Van Canuto, Commander Canuto of one of our VFWs here. Somebody made a $100 donation, by the way. I got to get it to you for the new sign. So we got to get that for you. They stepped up big time, too, with the food and everything. Good. We really do have such a cool community.
Amen.
So
did not follow that order. Management said that they would discard everything inside. Some tense moments captured on camera today as Stephanie Langston was talking with those residents in
intense moments. Like making love while camping, Amber.
Sure.
Intense.
Oh, intense.
Right, get it? Yeah, it's an old dad joke. I know.
Clarksville at the Bluegrass Meadows apartment complex.
Basically, your stuff has to be out by tomorrow.
3 days after hovering over her son in a bathtub.
Was just hoping that we didn't die on Saturday.
Residents of Bluegrass Meadows say they received an email from GVA management late Tuesday afternoon, giving them 24 hours to get all of their belongings out.
Good question, Becky. Let's find out why.
The email reads, anything left Thursday morning will be discarded.
Now is the time to treat people with empathy, respect. I mean, some people have nothing.
Many of the residents here tell me they simply don't have the means. Their cars destroyed in the tornadoes, U-Hauls difficult to come by, and then...
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
U-Hauls were, you couldn't get them. You couldn't get them. I get that. Okay. There were some storage facilities that were donating space, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
Quite a few of them, actually.
I know some companies also were offering the first month free to the residents as well who lost everything.
You're right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. But I understand, the victim part, but I also understand, the house part. The owner of the company or whatever that owns, you just can't have it sitting damaged. A building that's been what do they say? I forget the word.
There's the financial
uninhabitable. That's it. That's it.
It's unfortunate, and they should understand that, but I don't think they really understand because it's not affecting them.
Residents left in disbelief Thursday morning, capturing this video of 3 men, one who identified himself as management, attempting to kick in a door at the complex.
It's not right.
Hours later, during our interview, that same man arrived in a pickup, stopping inches from us.
Whoa! No, this was unnecessary.
What is that about, buddy?
I hope they took that video footage to, CPD.
Hey,
That's
buddy.
like vehicular assault.
Yo, get your emotions in check, my friend.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Arrived in a pickup, stopping inches from us.
Whoa! No, this was unnecessary right here.
No, I just want to make sure that you got my truck, so please
Well, we
leave.
definitely got your truck. You almost hit my photographer.
Please leave.
The man claimed he was on the phone with the owner.
These young ladies right here do not have the entire story. And
Well, that's why I would love for you guys to tell your story.
Yes. This is sir. Okay, sir. Oh, you handled this so wrong. Oh boy, I get it. You got oh no. Oh, let's go back. Let's finish that up. How do you think this ends? Not well, right?
I believe they have an attorney, and there's some court stuff that's happening now.
The man claimed he was on the phone with the owner.
Not this.
These young ladies right here do not have the entire story. And
Well, that's why I would love for you guys to tell your story.
No, man, we don't need to.
Man-child,
Right. There's a lot of people hurt.
He asked that we leave the property.
Ooh, Van Canuto makes a statement. They don't want to get busted for cheap building practices.
Police
Allegedly.
later confirmed we were on a public street.
Yeah,
Residents continued
They are
gathering
kind of
what
on
they
a public street,
could.
It's just simple common decency. Values,
What's up, Brian?
morals, have some.
Reporting from Clarksville, Stephanie Langston, News 2.
Yes, that wasn't Brian Flannery, okay? By the way, he's in the comments now, but yes, it did sound like Brian Flannery, but it was not Brian Flannery.
Okay.
Don't report him.
Now, the residents Stephanie spoke with say the man claiming he was management told them they were trespassing.
No, that's not true. That's not accurate. Sorry. So there's the update to that story. Craziness.
Yeah.
Moral of the story, don't drive your car into news reporters or anyone. Oops, sorry for making everyone deaf. Hey, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Boom! Hey, by the way, Wednesdays, Skyline 500 Rooftop Trivia. Shelby's Trio. I love it down there. But on Wednesdays, we're on the rooftop with the game show. Come on down, y'all. I'm working on my y'alls, Mark. Yeah, I reckon.
I can help you with that.
Thank you. Y'alls, reckon, fixing to.
Fixing to.
I parked over yonder by the holler. Was that accurate? Did I do it?
You're getting there.
I'm working on
You're
it.
getting there.
All right.
Y'all. But yes, Skyline 500 Rooftop Trivia. Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. What's up, Becky? She goes, this is crazy. Makes me extreme concerns over were codes up to date. Always have renter's insurance. How would an insurance gather a claim when the building is gone due to individuals like that, man? Yeah, Becky, fair point. Fair point. Yeah. Becky K's on fire. Hey, warning, ATM skimmer devices at a Clarksville bank. Just to give you a heads up, all right? You got to be careful out there.
Police want you to be on the lookout for thieves after skimmer devices were
holiday
found at a
time.
Clarksville bank this week. Our Jordan James has who
They got me in New York with the skimmer.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
they got me in New York. Oh God, it sucks. Pay attention.
police are looking for and how to prevent becoming a victim.
Chris Early's right. Bless your heart. Also, I'm going to start using that more. I finally found out what it really means.
Oh.
Okay. I always thought, oh wow, bless your heart, Joe. Thanks. Nope, not anymore.
I was going to say, surely you haven't heard that one a lot.
Oh heavens, the Bitsy?
Betsy.
Betsy. Okay. Heaven to Betsy.
Navy Federal Credit Union is the latest business to be targeted by thieves. On Tuesday, an employee told Clarksville police that they found skimmer devices on the ATM. Surveillance footage captured who police believe is responsible.
What are you
They
guys
reportedly were
doing?
seen on Wednesday trying to retrieve.
He looks dumb, doesn't he? I mean, that's just my
He
opinion.
looks like he's surprised
Huh?
while being under the influence of something.
What?
the device. WSMV did reach out to Navy Federal Credit Union to find out how long the device was on the
It's not good posture, by the way. I don't recommend typing like this. It's not good for you.
ATM and how many customers were affected. They declined to say, instead sending a statement saying in part, Navy Federal Credit works around the clock to ensure our ATMs are protected from skimmers and other attacks. A report from NBC News found that more than $1 billion a year are stolen using credit card skimmers.
Give it a tug. Before you put the card in, give it a tug, okay? If it comes out, you didn't break it. You just saved yourself a lot of money.
Oh.
Okay? Give it a tug with your hand before you put the card in. Same thing, gas stations too, okay? Yeah. The gas station, that's where they really hit them up. It's the gas stations. What they do is they copy your card, and when you put in your number, you just give it all away.
Yeah.
It looks like a full-blown crook to me. Yeah, he did a little bit. Almost looks like Adam Glexy. Oh, he was on the show the other day. He kind of did look like Adam Glexy. Absolutely, Chris. John Doe, don't use ATMs, don't use bank cards at gas pumps, because it's the number one place where credit, debit cards info is stolen. Ain't that the truth? Hey, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, the whole bit. Hey, by the way, Thursdays is Wicked Good Trivia. That's right. Over there at 605 Cumberland Drive. Wicked Good Sandwiches. I love it over there. What I love about Wicked Good, not only is it great food, but, man, they kept their prices reasonable. I mean, everything's going up. It's crazy. But, hey, thanks for Wicked Good for creating a good product with a good time. Thursdays, trivia, dinner, and a show. Which means, let's do this. Amber, are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Mark, are you ready? Let's play some Wicked Good Trivia. Woo! It's Amber versus Mark.
Sure.
City Council versus Clarksville Gas and Water. Who will win? Okay. Amber, you're up first, all right?
All right. If it's a sandwich question, I don't know.
It's not a sandwich question.
Okay.
So.
Round 9.
Yeah, we'll go right into round 9.
Okay.
This is a business company category. Okay?
Okay.
A business or company category. Ain't that the truth for here? West General for a quarter mile. They're everywhere.
They are, but they're actually quite useful in certain areas because they sell groceries and there's no grocery store.
I get it. Thieves, though. So many thieves go into. Oh, my God. Like, that's where, when I go to steal stuff, I go to Dollar General.
Okay.
All right, so from their app, name the business or company, okay?
Okay.
You can't use your phones, though.
Darn.
All right, deal?
Sure.
All right, Amber, you're up first. Amber, if you can't get it, Mark gets a chance to steal.
Okay.
Here we go.
What's that?
Very good. Amber's got a point. All right, Mark, are you ready?
Yes.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Mapco?
Boom!
Oh.
Wow. We got a tie ball game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, delayed sound effect, sorry. Here we go. Amber, you're up. Yeah, John Doe knows. Oh, Chris Early, very good. Yes, if you know the answer to the comments, go for it. All right, Amber, you ready?
Sure.
Ooh, what do you think it is?
I don't know. Try to think of our company names.
In our company. We have one here in Clarksville, a big one. Recently had to close its doors, but recently reopened them.
Darn it, I don't know.
Mark? They had a little fire.
Oh, I see it there now, Regal Theaters.
Boom.
Regal
Did they change
Theaters.
their
Logo? I don't know.
Very good. Brian
been
Flannery
forever.
got it. Right. Chris Early said Root. I don't know what company that is.
I did. Circle K did come up in my head. I was like, that's
Oh,
not an R.
All right, Mark, you're up. You ready?
Yes.
Oh, this one is used for music.
I don't know.
Amber?
Spotify? Oh, Shazam.
It's Shazam. No points awarded. Shazam. That's the one that his song's playing. You don't know who the artist is. You go, you put on the Shazam and it tells you the album and everything. Soundhound is a good one too, though, Chris. Right, Soundhound's a good one. All right, here we go. Amber, you're up.
Okay.
Now, this is one of the most downloaded apps in January. In January.
I don't know, but all I was thinking was either Puma or Jordan.
It does look like Air Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mark?
My Fitness.
Boom! Winner! MyFitnessPal. Yes, very good. This is actually there's two ones. There's two different apps you can get. This is the female MyFitnessPal.
Oh, okay.
You want to see the logo for the male MyFitnessPal?
Is it the same?
There
Oh
it is.
God.
Okay,
You
there it
did
is.
that on purpose.
That's the male MyFitnessPal
Okay.
that you can download. Okay. Took me 5 minutes to do that for 1 second of nothing. Oh, nice job, nice job. Wicked Good trivia every Thursdays at Wicked Good Sandwiches, 605 Cumberland Drive. Definitely check us out. We have a good time. It's dinner and a show, that's for sure. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. All right, let's get out of here. Mark, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate y'all having me on.
Of course.
I'd love to get our information out there.
Anytime.
And remember, every day in the morning, look in the mirror. What y'all doing over yonder?
Over yonder.
Yeah. Practice that. What y'all doing over yonder?
What you guys doing, y'all?
No, I said yeah.
Over yonder. What you's doing, right? I'll work on it. I'll
All
work
right.
on it. Yeah, Mark, you're more than welcome to join us whenever there's big controversies coming on. You can explain it away.
Glad to do it. Thank you.
Man, Amber, good job.
Yeah.
Amber, what's the one thing that you got out of today's show? Did you learn anything?
Apparently, there's apps I didn't know existed.
Yes, yes. Get the male version of MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Becky K. Joe, a little much for early morning. I know, Becky. It was just a little app. Just a little app. That's all. John Doe, have a great weekend. It's Tuesday, man. It's Tuesday. We got a long way to go.
Maybe it's his weekend.
You know what? You're right. You're right. Hey, thanks for allowing us, enabling us, okay, to have a conversation. I'm Joe Padula.
I'm Evan Markey.
I'm Mark Riggins.
And this was the local news you needed to know. Absolutely.